All right, all right, all right. Thank you so much. Let me turn the music down for joining us for Monetize with Meta, the podcast. I, oh, it came up loud. I am your host, Dominic Nash. Let me come to the screen. Now, if you guys also would like to come on screen to ask any questions, you're more than welcome to join us on Arts and Styles by Dami on Instagram because we're live on there too. I'm taking any type of real time conversations, and you guys can join me on the screen because when we're streamed through the podcast, it's difficult for me to add people on the screen, but you are able to do that if you go directly to Arts and Styles by Dami on Instagram. All right. All right. I'm your girl again, Dominique Nash. I am so happy to see you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are so excited to have you here. I see Angela. Hey, Angela. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for being present. We really do appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Now, to break the ice, something happened when I was on my way to the podcast that really made me think about a lot of you guys' questions that we're going to answer today on the podcast. There was a car accident down the road when I was coming home, and the way that the cars were positioned, they were aiming at each other, right? And what it reminded me that we, as people, as content creators, as CEOs of our business, our brands, we are constantly fighting to be first. We are constantly fighting to have our own way. And sometimes when we fight, we bump heads, we clash. That was a car accident, right? You guys, I've been getting phone calls, I've been getting DMs. People have been booking with me. I've been booked up for the past 2 weeks. You guys are frustrated over being restricted. You are frustrated over being shadow banned. You are frustrated because your views are low. You are frustrated because you got kicked out of a community that was helping you learn. I hear you. I feel you. But you guys are just like that car crash. If you change your behaviors, if you change your patterns, then guess what? It would actually help you. A lot of us are doing things that cause us to be reprimanded. Excuse me. For example, you cannot steal other content creators who are more established in the genre because content creation has been around for years. Okay. I'm one of them. And what I see a lot of people doing is when they get uh invited to the program and they get the $500 bonus. That is the beginner bonus, by the way. Okay. And what they do, they get so money hungry that they forget all about their business. Meta is investing in you guys because they saw that you established a business presence on this platform. So that means in some form or fashion, you have used the platform to create yourself, right? A business plan. You have used the platform to create this space where maybe you're selling jewelry like with paparazzi. Shout out to all my paparazzi family. I know you guys sell jewelry because I see you all the time. You have made yourself be able to sell weight loss solutions or supplements. But when it came to the opportunity to gain monetization, you forgot that that is the focus. You've forgotten because now you're stealing other people's content just for views. That's not what they blessed you with the opportunity for. So I get it. You're frustrated. You had a car accident, right? You bumped heads with your business partner. And if you don't realize it, Meta is your business partner. You understand? Yeah, yeah. Meta's your business partner. So you bumped heads with your business partner and they're blocking you and you're fighting to still do what you want to do. And then when you get reprimanded and everything's taken away, what happens? You get upset, you reach out to me, you have other people looking for me. And when I meet with you guys, first thing I ask is, what is your what? If you guys are new to the podcast, that was our episode last week. We need to find our what, we need to find our how. And once you discover those two, because those are going to bring your purpose, then and only then will you be able to continue to grow in this industry. We can't just be a fly by our seat of our pants type of creator, because I have been there. Okay. I have been there. That is the reason why I'm always trying to help, guide, give direction, mentor, coach, groom. I take my time out of my busy schedule to do all of those things for you guys when you book with me, right? But the similarity that I see across the board is that you've forgotten. You've forgotten about your business. The Reels Play program is an opportunity for each and every person that has an account and is invited to monetize. It is an opportunity for you to use capital to advertise on Meta's platforms. And if you tuned in last week, you should know what the Holy Trinity is. But I'm not going to go into that because that's for our intense workshop that we're going to be doing. That's right. I have an intense workshop where it's intimate, it's a closed setting, it's not on a live, it's a class. And basically, we're going to dive into the Holy Trinity. We're going to dive into what you do with your monetization, how to actually establish your presence on this platform. And Meta, if you do not know, is Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Okay. All right. Now, our people are over here on Instagram are watching our what? What is your message? I like that. Your why. Why do you want to be a content creator? Then your how. How will you begin? Mm, mm. Oh, okay. I see. That's Nicole. Hey, Nicole. Now, see, she is taking care of business. So she couldn't be present right away because she had to do what all of us should be doing, establishing a business account at a bank, because you guys are entrepreneurs. You are on this journey of entrepreneurship. This entire monetizational program is designed. Hey, Angela for Fashionista. Hey, I'm talking to people on Instagram. You guys are entrepreneurs, and this program was designed so you can use the funds that they deposit once a month. Okay, from you doing reels, which you should be doing reels to advertise your products, introduce people to you, send them to your business page. I do it all the time. Yep. If you're watching this from any one of my, if it's my profile, Dominique Nash, or my business pages, Arts and Styles by Domi, Welcome to the Nash House, Gaming at the Nash House, any of those pages, any reels that I create, it always is going to have a tie-in, unless I just feel like being silly, because I do have those moments. It's going to have a tie-in to one of my business pages. Use the system for what it was created for. It is not created for you to try to nickel and dime Meta, because they're not going to allow you to, first off. Okay, they're not going to allow you to. I see y'all all the time. How come my post went from 9K views to 100? Because they saw that you have forgotten. You have forgotten the most important part in all of this. You have forgotten about your business. And that's what they're trying to remind you of. Um, it's unfortunate to see a lot of us are losing our opportunities. But I'm going to go to some of the questions that we had from the last podcast. So bear with me while I pull it up. If any of our Instagram viewers would like to come on screen to talk about their experience when it comes to being with Meta, you're more than welcome to request to come on the screen. A lot of people have questions just about what they are supposed to be doing. I had a young lady that commented, she said, so how do I even get started? Now, if you are a part of how to become a digital content creator and get paid for your content, it's a group that I created. It's Meta Millionaires. Um, that group, that community, because we are 7.1K, okay, right now in membership. That community is thriving. But if you just join, you might be a little lost. So, in the featured section, and there is a section labeled feature on purpose, it is designed so you can actually have a reference of all your questions anytime you have it. Okay. A lot of people keep saying, I need followers. Okay. So that goes back to what we talked about last week, followers versus supporters. There is a difference because that number count, if they are not truly supporting what you do, means absolutely, positively nothing. It is just a number. And if those numbers are continually to be spam, it's not helping you grow your business. And then before you hit me with, but I don't have a business, you are your business, you are your brand. You are the main focus of all of your content, especially a lot of you guys who have not established a business page yet because you're afraid. Well, I have more followers on my profile. Yeah, but you have gotten in a real bad habit. Before this was Meta and it was just Facebook, you've gotten in a real bad habit of not connecting with those people. Just being a lurker. That's what I call it because I went through that mode too. Just scrolling. You don't hit anything. You just scroll and you're nosy. You're trying to see what people doing. Oh, what's she doing? Ooh, what's she cooking? You have become a lurker. So now that you have this opportunity, and I did it, I'm guilty. Now that you have this opportunity, now you want everybody to surround around you and support you. But they're not used to supporting you because you only bring up your business every once in a while. How would you feel if you went into, let's say, McDonald's? Y'all love McDonald's. I used to. But if you went into a McDonald's and instead of them focusing on the food, they focusing on their makeup. There's uh all type of stuff on the floor. It's so random that you're like, this is McDonald's, right? That's how you guys are using your platform. It's confusing. There is no way for a person to connect with you. I know because I did it. I'm only being transparent because that's going to help you, right? I did it too because I thought that's what Meta wanted. But really, what they really want is for all of us to be about our business. All right, now we have someone requesting to come on screen on Instagram. Let's see who it is. Hold on one second. All right. Now, while we're waiting on them to come on screen, oh, here they are. Let me make sure I turn you up. Hey, it's our girl Nicole Bozeman. How are you? Mm-hmm. What? Mm-hmm. 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 but that is the life of an entrepreneur. That is the life of a true strategy content creator. Now, I'm going to read another question that is on here that they asked from our last live, Nicole. She said, I have been very active on my page, but numbers are dropping so quickly. Impressions posts reach even engagement. I don't know what is happening. I think I have been restricted. Mm. I will tell. Mhm. You probably have. I will tell you guys this. I get the opportunity because a lot of you are in a lot of my groups. You might not know that it's one of the groups that I'm admin over, but you guys are a part of it and you share all of your content and your thoughts in there. When I look at your page or your profile, I'll review just to see what you've been up to. And every post is a promote here, my engagement's low, where are all my people at? A lot of times, because you're not having regular conversations, it does become off putting for a consumer of this product of Meta. So when you're constant, like we do need to post, don't get that wrong. We need to type up regular posts, but you have to have a strategy when it comes to uh, putting up those posts. How do you feel today? People need to know. You need to have them. I like that one. I like that one. I like that one. And they put you in this little black box. It's called being shadow banned. A lot of people, I'm gonna be honest with you. The first time I got shadow banned, I was utterly confused because it was at the beginning of my journey to when I was hired to show you guys how to use Reels. Okay, I was the one that they hired to influence you to try it. So I would use it, and what I did was I overdid it. I overdid it, and when I would comment like on regular friends' posts, they would comment back to everybody else, and I'm like, why ain't nobody comment back to me? That's because my post wasn't there. They held it. That's called being shadow banned. That's right. It was very social. It was a friend space. It was very social. It was a friend space. Mm-hmm. That's right. Mm-hmm. Lash text. And that's exactly why they created this program. Exactly why. Now I'm going to share something with you guys. If you're new and you just start joining on because of the podcast, I want to share with you part of my journey. So my husband is a photographer. If you ever see any photos where I'm looking like a model, I did. Okay, he did that. Okay. So we were invited to a local vendors type of what they call them pop-up shops here in St. Louis. And when I went there, I interviewed each and every person that had a table. And when I tell you this venue was packed, it had vendors on the outside and food trucks. It had all vendors on as soon as you came in the door, in this room, another room. We interviewed each person, and every person that I interviewed, I asked them, how can I get in contact with you? And each and every one of those people had a business Facebook page set up. And I told my husband, I said, this is not a coincidence. Like everybody is understanding that if you do not have a digital presence, it hurts as a business owner. With Meta, you are able to create a space to have a digital storefront for your business, for your brand, if you sell products, if you sell services. If you are just wanting to build your platform to bridge the gap to make partnerships, that is still a brand. You're becoming a household name. So, whatever it is that you do, you have to do it with integrity because those footprints follow you to your business. They follow you. Go ahead. Oh, so it was ready to come out. Oh, I've seen those posts. Something is going on. Can you just leave me a simple hi? I'm like, dang. But when I just looked at you the other day, you had 250 odd reactions and comments. But there was something that happened between that point and where you were now that you have to analyze. And you got to be honest with yourself, because it ain't going to hurt nobody but you. You got to be honest with yourself. What did you do? What did you do? Mm-hmm. I like a sign. Come on. Hmm. Ooh, we going into the office. I like that. Mm-hmm. Mm. Change your mindset. Like when we all just think that, oh, I'm just gonna hustle them for a couple of dollars, because they said I can make money off my content now. Okay, great. We want you to do that, but also don't forget about why you had this opportunity. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I like that. That part. Now that right there, that's a whole sandwich and some cookies. You hear me? That right there, that's a meal. But really, honestly, guys, we are never here to tear you apart. We are here to encourage you, but we all have to be honest about our bad practices. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. So for me, it was my job to introduce reels to you, but I got lost in the sauce too. You know, first check 550. I was like, oh shoot, whoop whoop whoop. I ain't have no strategy either. I was no strategy whatsoever. You have to have a plan. A lot of you guys are really, really frustrated. I saw a young lady that I actually helped her um, get the bonus because she was struggling and asking, could I donate her some money? I said, well, I don't have no money to donate you, but I can get you hooked up with a great job with Meta. And she was like, Meta, what's that? We own it. We talking through it. Mm, mm. Understanding Meta. But long story short, she followed my advice and received the invite. It was helping her take care of her child, and she is a small business owner. She makes logos. Every business needs a logo. You understand what I mean? But once she got that first paycheck, she forgot all about her job making logos because she was like, I'm making money. But that wasn't the object of the game. Okay. What we need to do, we need to go back to ground zero. Understand that your business and your brand, and if you don't have one, you are your business, you are your brand. Okay. I need y'all to start taking that in. Say, I'm my business, I'm my brand. Okay. Say it with me. I'm my business, I'm my brand. Okay. Write it in the chat. I am my business. I am my brand. Once you continue to write it, say it, it will change the way that you are doing your job. Now, are you working for Meta? No, you're working with Meta to build your business. Are you working for Meta? No, you are working with Meta. Y'all always say, I want partnerships that pay me. Well, congratulations. You got one. You just ain't doing it right. Angela wrote it in the chat on Instagram. I am my business. I am my brand. Mm. I felt it down deep down in my side tonight. It did something to me. Ooh. You know what? I'm gonna design some shirts so y'all can go ahead and you can get one, wear it. So when you're in your downtime, when you're exercising, when you are strategizing, you look in that mirror and say, I am my business. I am my brand. I like that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Oh, well, what? I didn't check one of these chats. Okay. We got a lot of participation. Shout out to Moriella. I think that's how you say your name. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, I'm sorry. Little bit. I think I said that right. And Joy. Joy says I can hardly hear. I'm sorry, Joy. I'm talking into this microphone. And I'm trying not to yell because I got a big mouth. I hope you can hear now. But they are typing. I am my business. I am my brand. Let me make sure it's turned up. Can y'all hear me now? Let me know in on the actual live if you can hear me. Hey, oh, that's my client. Hey, how beautiful. I'm so glad that you guys are feeling the empowerment because we need it. A lot of the times you can be your own enemy. Like, mm, come on. Mm-mm. Go ahead. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So our listeners are having trouble hearing you. That's what they're having trouble hearing is you. Okay. So yeah, I'm live on Instagram. So this is through Instagram. Go ahead. Can y'all hear her better? Hold on, I'm waiting on it. You know we got to get them time to type. I'll be forgetting about that part. But it's hard for them to hear. But what she was really going through is that you have to allow yourself the actual space to take a break, look, step back. Look at what you are doing, analyze, and be very transparent with how you're analyzing yourself, because we need to self evaluate as an entrepreneur. Not tear yourself down, but actually look at what you have been able to achieve. What are you doing? What? Go ahead. Mm. Well, I put the microphone closer to my phone. I got a second microphone. Now, you see, this is another part of it. You got to invest in yourself. You got to invest in yourself. You got to invest in stuff. Mm, mm. Come on. Say that. Okay. She had to be quiet because she felt that point. She felt it right here. Right here. You feel it. You feel it. Now, I wanted to allow you guys, since we do have a nice amount of participation on here, ask your real questions. This is a public forum. If you aren't, because I get a lot of people who message me that say that they really don't have the money to book an appointment with me, or they don't have the money to come to the workshops. This is your opportunity to ask your question in real time and really dive in and get the answer that you're looking for. I want to empower all of you guys to always keep your business and your brand first and foremost when you're creating. Strategize how you can tied together. Because I use trends too. I even told Nicole, I said sometimes, even though you want to give your message out, because she's a safe space influencer, I love that because that's something that people forget about. Uh, Feeling safe while online and sharing and in your feelings. Some people need that healing. So that is a need for that. But sometimes you have to use trends. So what I mean by that is using an audio that is trending. You understand what I mean? Like right now, I will tell you that Miley Cyrus' song Flowers is trending. You want to know why? Because that is the hottest pop song right now. So you could use that song to show you putting your products together. You could use that song showing you whatever it is you do. Maybe you're doing makeup, doing your makeup. I can buy myself flowers, cut screen, do put your lashes on. You have the flexibility to be as creative as you need to be, but we cannot get stuck. If you feel stuck, take a break. Yeah. She didn't want to do nothing. She was like, nope. Yeah. Mm, the pressure of the push. Because now I'm coming from a mama standpoint because that sounds like when you about to give birth. You know, when you giving birth to that baby. Ooh. Now we got a question from Angela on Instagram. She said, "Do you have a feature showing how to do a transition?" So, for all of our viewers on here, if you know what a transition is in a reel, put a heart in the chat. Angela, I need you to, if you can, go ahead and type out what you mean by a transition because there's two different things that comes to mind for me when it comes to transition. So if you know what a transition is here on Facebook, give me a heart in chat. Um, Angela, can you type out what you mean by transitions? I will tell you a lot of the tips that I have in our community, Meta Millionaires, how to become a digital content creator and get paid for your content. Uh, the featured section has ways to do trends. It has how to start creating reels. It has how to access the music library. It has the requirement and eligibility terms that Meta put together in order for you to get monetized. It has the link to apply for monetization for your business page. I mean, I have everything there. And there is a video to instruct people on how to do a simple transition. But I need more information from you, Angela, on what you mean because there are different ways of people using transitional things. So I don't see any red hearts. So I don't think any of our viewers on Facebook know about transition. So I'm. Mhm. You got to learn all the terminology. Her side hustle is being a flight attendant. Did y'all hear that? That ain't her job. That's a side hustle. Okay. Mhm. That they were talking about. Right. So they still can't hear you. So I'm gonna explain what she was saying. She was saying it's okay if you don't. It's because it's on my phone. If you don't really understand the terminology of transitions and doing end screens, different things that we use in this type of setting and at this workplace, okay? It's important to understand the lingo so you can keep up with what we're talking about. Now, I will explain it, but Angela did type out what she was asking. She said, when you go from like one place to another or change outfits during the reel, I do that quite a bit, but it's not really that important on this platform, if that makes sense. People are not really interested in a lot of transitions. It's entertaining, but it's not something that really holds people's attention on this platform. Mhm. 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 They are still using just the Facebook camera to create. And really, guys, um if you are really serious about your business, your brand, and you are your business, you are your brand, you should be creating outside of any type of app. You can use some features from an app. I like the face zoom, so wherever I move, it zooms into my face. I like that. So I'll use that, record, save it to my phone, delete it. And then I use my video editor to put it all together as a well thought out process. Or if I just want to talk over it, anything like that. Um, yeah, this is really advanced stuff because I've been doing it for a while, you know. Um, so stuff like transitions, that's more for an experienced creator. That's it's not hard to learn how to do. You can do it if you want to be honest. You can do it in Instagram. You can record yourself doing one thing, stop it, go change your clothes, go somewhere else, start recording again, stop it, go back. There's ways for you to do it, but I think that understanding what you want to share and how you're going to do it will then enable you to focus on strategizing with your content. And then you can branch out once you have that wrapped up in a bow and you got it. Like, baby, it's in the back of my mind. I got this. I don't need no help. I got this. Then you can focus on doing other things like getting more creative with your content. You understand what I mean? Doing transition screens, doing all type of tutorials, tricks and tips, things like that. Then you can do those things. But if you have been creating and you've been all over the place and you lost your bonus, you're feeling like you're ready to give up. That's what this is really about. This is really about this is to give you the comfort that you're not alone, but also to guide you that you need to figure out what your what is so then you can empower your why and then you can move into your how. All of that is how every entrepreneur needs to believe and needs to think. Okay. Ooh. Now you just told them that they mama's feet stink and you slapped them silly too. Ooh, that was an insult, wasn't it? Yeah, because I felt that deep down in my side deny. You hear me? Ooh. And it's okay if we step on your toes, because sometimes I step on my own toes. You hear me? Now, I see you said, yep, I love the last session I attended and I did my homework with that app you all recommended. I love that. Woo! Awesome, awesome. Now, before we get off of here, I do want to share with you guys, and I shared this with Nicole yesterday. I want to give you guys just a brief overview of how I changed my mindset and focused on building my business. So, me, I was a natural talent when it came to styling hair at the tender age of 12. And I started taking people appointments in my house. If I don't know about anywhere else, but here in St. Louis, they call me a kitchen stylist. Okay. But anywho, ooh, when I tell you, I would have appointments every once in a while, and people would be like, "You don't advertise yourself." I was like, "Oh, it's just a hustle, you know." But then when I turned 21, I went to school. I got my license, took the state board, and I was working a regular 9 to 5 doing call center work, and I was miserable. I mean, miserable, like to the point that uh, the words that people would say on that phone would have me in tears. That's how miserable I was. And they were getting ready to end the project, the work at home project. And I did not want to go work in the office because my kids needed me. So I decided to put my big girl boots on and actually be about my business. I set up Arts and Styles by Dami 8 years ago to this day. And back then, pages really didn't have a way to be visible. Like everything that I did to get visible, I had to pay for. So right now, you guys are blessed. I want y'all to know that y'all are blessed. But anywho, when I started out on my journey of being my boss, putting my best foot forward, I changed my whole mindset. That was not no hustle mode anymore, baby. That was my job. And I did it with integrity. I advertised myself. I did specials, $25 to do a retwist on Tuesdays and Thursdays, feet killing me, working for something that I really wasn't really, I was way more valuable for. You understand what I mean? Because with these hands, God bless me with them. But you have to build small. You understand? So I took my time. I ran ads on Ads Manager. I would take 25 of that dollar. I'll sit $10 to the side because I had a lot of customers. So I'd take $10 from each one and I would put it to the side so I can advertise through Meta. They ran those ads not only on Facebook, but also on Instagram. And my clientele picked up tremendously. When I tell you that I had professional basketball players coming to see me, I had the yin yang twins coming to see me. I was about my business, and it was all because I trusted the system that Meta provided for me. And this was before any type of monetizational tools. Okay. I just want y'all to understand how blessed you are to be able to they have your back. They decided to partner with you by giving you the opportunity to advertise yourself, advertise your business, advertise your family, bridge it together. It's not meant to be separate. You can't separate church and state. Not all the time. You need that connection in order for you to build connections. This platform with Meta is all about making connections. If people see your products, but they're not really reacting to it, but then when you share a post of you hanging out with your family, then that means that they needed something to connect to. Trust the process. Okay? Trust the process. But I tell y'all my story so you can be encouraged. Be encouraged. This is your journey. This is your story to tell. This is your business, and you are your brand. Mm. It's turning your pain into your passion, your testimony. It's all of those churchy things that we've heard. If you've been in church, done anything in church, it's all of those types of sayings and beliefs and habits. And it's really about,
like Dominique said, it's finding your what. What is your message? Even if you're doing eyelashes, even if you're doing nails, even if you're doing hair, we want to know what it is. You have to create the type of content that's going to show value in who you are and your service and or your product, and so that people will want to invest in that. So you can't and listen, we all as consumers, we do the exact same thing. You are first a consumer, so what makes you drive to McDonald's, or what makes you go to Wendy's, or what makes you go to Chick-fil-A, or what makes you go to TJ Maxx or Macy's or Saxon Avenue? What is their message? What is that thing that drives you to purchase that product or to get that service? And what it is that gets your attention, that content, the message is the very same thing that you now have to create for yours, so that you're not just going for followers, because followers will just be there invisible. You want supporters. You want those that are going to buy your product, that's going to buy your service, that's going to respond and react, just like you are doing right now with us on this podcast. You are interacting with us, right? Guess what, guys? You are supporting us.
Yes, and thank you.
Right, and the very thing that you're doing with us and for us right now is what your supporters to do for you. Have that dialogue, that interaction, you creating that network and that relationship and the trust, so that when you really begin to present your product or your service or whatever it is that you have to offer, it's going to be so valuable because they trust you. They've had relationship with you, even if it's just in dialogue or contact, or you talking on their post and they're talking on yours. You guys are just interacting. Nothing else but just creating relationships. And that's the key.
That is the key. Now, I appreciate each and every one of you guys, all of our people on Instagram. I know this is a new setup from last week, guys, but I had shared a snippet on Instagram, and we had so many people inquiring that I thought, why not go live on both? So that's why Nicole is over there and I'm over here to try to bridge the gap together. Sorry for all the sound issues. I know that it wasn't easy, but I'm hoping that you did take away some good meat with them potatoes today. You hear me? I think I'm making steak today because that just made me hungry. Oh, I did drop some nuggets about it. So we're gonna have an intense workshop. Um, it's already live. I'm gonna tag it into the chat. It is called Building. Hold on. I got to type it out. Building your business and your brand. I need my glasses on so a sister can see. Mm. Don't you laugh at me. See, Nicole laugh. That ain't funny. That ain't funny. But we do want you guys to go ahead and register as soon as possible right now. We have the early bird special going on it, which is extremely discounted for all of our listeners today, because this event was just created yesterday. We heard you. We saw what you guys needed. So we decided to go ahead and help you in a close, intimate setting. Because I know that it's not easy to just sit here and you can't talk to anybody. So if we can come on here and help you to be able to communicate with us and do what we need to do, then we can set up an event that is really going to really help. I got the link for it. So I put the link in the chat. Click on it. It'll take you directly to the event. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. I do need some glasses too. Don't say nothing. Don't you say nothing. All right, let's see if I can if I can tag it. But the idea of it, guys, is that we really want to be able, and two people who are going to who actually participate the most in this actual event will win a personal one-on-one with me that has the value of $50. That's how much I normally charge for each session. With this actually event, if you attend and you make sure that you share the event, invite people to the event, because we can see how many times you've shared it, the people that you have invited. Once we'll have our first runner up. You will be able to get an hour appointment. Then the second runner up will be able to get 30 minutes where with me where I can review your personal stuff. We want you guys to be able to, I don't know why they ain't tagging it, to be able to grow with us because that's the point. Again, my name is Dominique Nash. I'm signing off because we got kicked off Instagram. You only get an hour, just to let y'all know. Okay? You only get an hour live. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Dominique Nash on Arts and Styles by Domi, and this is Monetize with Meta, the podcast. Have a great day, okay?
I can't forget about you. Every day pushed away, gonna stray, but now I'm clinging on to you. And you know that I ain't gonna stop. Letting go is so hard when I blow, but I gotta break through. Yeah, you know that I ain't gonna stop. I can't forget about you. Yeah, I know what I do. Just to get back to you. I wanna get back to you, no matter how hard I try. I can only see you. I can't forget about 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 you. Can't pretend it's easy, babe. The night just seemed to slip away. I'll be like this for all my days, 'cause I can't forget about you. Oh, I can't forget about you. Oh, I can't forget about you. No matter how hard I try, I can only see your eyes. I can't forget about you. I can't forget about you. I can't forget about you.